Hello and welcome to the Magic Mirror Podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Khan the Trinket Mage, and with me is my co-host, 3 Elk.
Hello.
Additionally, we have our other co-host, Salubrious Snail.
Hello, hello.
And returning special guest, Brewer's Kitchen, or Phill.
Heyo.
Good to have you back.
Hey, good to be on again. It's I've actually been listening to this podcast a bunch now. I still don't agree with the sometimes mentioning that humility is a favorite card of I still don't get if it's a bit or not, but okay.
It's such a cool card.
No, it's not.
Later.
It's not.
I don't know. You can play with equipment and auras and counters. Oh, so many themes.
But can't you just do this with the regular creatures as well?
Oh my god, I'm breaking parity. It's so cool. It's so
Exactly.
cool because I'm breaking
Breaking
parity. The coolest thing in the universe is when I break parity and my opponents do nothing, and I'm breaking parity.
The Archon card? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Archon, yeah, no, it's Kudo. Even I like it. Anyway, we're not talking about humility today.
Well. Okay, whatever.
Oh, if you play Kudo, humility is not that bad. Let's be real.
What? You're just calling Kudo? No, right, we're not. You're not rage fading me.
You're so easy to tease, Elk.
I think that's part of why people like me at least a little bit.
That makes you a good podcast co-host. Today's topic is about whether or not multicolored commander decks are more or less interesting than monocolored ones. I think this is kind of interesting. If we look at the top commanders outside of Krenko, which is such an outlier, I kind of want to do a whole video on him, and Giada, for the most part, multicolored commanders are more popular than lower colored ones. Oh, I guess Sephiroth is up there too. We don't see too many super popular monocolored ones, and also Wizards prints a lot more multicolored commanders, I think, especially with precons. When was the last time we got a monocolored precon?
Oh
my god, like never.
Oh my god, yeah. Fucking Necrons?
Hey,
Yeah,
was it right, man? Good call.
Necrons, I think, was the last one.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and that wasn't even a cycle. That was just one random mono black one. Before that, it was like, I think Duretti, right?
Probably.
I should also mention that this discussion is somewhat inspired by us talking about the rule breaker commanders before the pod and whether or not rule breaker as a thing actually makes for an interesting design. Like, is it interesting to have a deck that kind of has more colors but doesn't, as opposed to, what if there was an angel commander that just had a ability that had a bunch of colors on it, and so you could actually play all the colors.
I think the part of the discussion is that the rule breakers don't interact in any way with if you play different colors. Like, you don't get paid off for playing different colors in the rule breaker ones. So I guess the question is, do you get paid off for playing different colors in any commander? Unless the commander does something unique and has various colors. But, like, is black-red goblins more interesting than mono-red goblins, I guess?
This is also interesting because I know when I made my video about Eminence last year, I said I thought it would have been funny if Edgar Markov was an Orzhov commander, because I just found the fact that it had all of the vampire colors to be boring, and it was specifically released at a time when white was becoming another color for vampires. But is that actually interesting? Is it actually interesting to restrict a commander down to 2 colors rather than the full lineup?
Also, hot news off the press here. I am right. Necrons were the last monocolor commander, unless you count colorless, in which case it's Zuladoc. In Modern Horizons 3. Or what is that Commander Masters?
I guess.
Modern Horizons 3 had the 5-color Eldrazi.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was Ululek.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I guess we should just start there with what Phil said. Like, if we were to compare mono red goblins to Rakdos goblins, what is more interesting?
I think there's an analysis to be made that, like, oh, you have an extra color, so now you get to run all the slop from that extra color, right? But I feel like analyzing at the lowest kind of like rung of thinking about your deck, where like, oh, now I get Phyrexian Arena in my goblins deck or whatever, isn't like really apt, because it depends what you want your deck to do. And I think, yes, it is cooler to have less colors generally speaking, but like in the specific, whatever you specifically want to do with your deck, the lowest amount of colors you can get it to with that specific want is pretty interesting. Like if you wanted to run Bogart Harbinger to do like top deck manipulation stuff with Conspicuous Snoop, right? The goblin that steals the abilities of the top card of your deck if it's a goblin. Like that's only really possible in Rakdos, and it's very cool, and you can't really do it in red, right? I guess you can do Brainstone bullshit, but for me, I don't think multiple colors really nixes how interesting a deck is unless you're using those extra colors to just put like the generic in your deck without really thinking about it.
Yeah, so the problem is that every Rakdos Goblin deck can do everything a mono red Goblin deck could do. Like, you got just extra colors. I guess restrictions breed creativity, so if you do Mindstone things, it's kinda cooler. I don't know.
I do agree with that. I think it like a lot of it does come down to like a power argument. I think a lot of times players are, especially newer players, are very much drawn to powerful cards and things. Maybe not for goblins. Goblins
I
actually
was
might
gonna
be
say Rakdos Goblins is some boomer shit.
yeah, because Krenko's the most popular. But if we were to look at like vampires, for example, Edgar Markov is far and away the most popular commander, but is also the most powerful and gives you like the most options. And in general, like in terms of strict power level, right, having more colors is better in that sense. If you want just power, but I feel like it falls into a lot of traps where like I'll see people put. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this on your like deck reviews and stuff, but like where people will have like a vampiric tutor just like in their deck randomly. And I'm like, what are you getting with this? And it's just like it's card disadvantage.
I've had that happen before, but it makes sense in a vampires deck. Think about it.
Sure. It's maybe it's flavorful in their vampires deck. But like or they'll have like Cabal Coffers, Exsanguinate, and no other like high cost or X spells.
Yeah.
And it's just like what are you doing with this? Like I know Cabal Coffers is in theory strong, but what's the point? But players are kind of drawn to that.
Yeah, I feel like there's some percent of commander decks that people just kind of auto build, where it's like, oh, I'm building a white deck. Here's my generous gift. Here's my Swords to Plowshares, and they're not really thinking about these inclusions. Oh, I'm in a black deck. I kind of want Urborg in this deck. Well, Cabal Coffers has to go in. Ignore the fact that all my like big drops are multicolored and really hard to cast with all that excess like Cabal Coffers mana, right? Like I don't know. I feel like just certain people have an understanding of what is good in Commander, but they don't really understand why or what it is about these cards in certain shells that make the cards powerful. So they just kind of jam them in because it's an EDH card. I'm building this color EDH deck. I need these color EDH cards in my deck, obviously.
Yeah, I'm looking through EDH Rec right now because every time I check any of my commanders, there's like, the thing you said, like a random Vampiric Tutor. Sure, you can, if you have a combo, I guess it's a good card. But there's always cards that, of course, in removal, like Withering Torment, it's like in every black deck, or like, let's say Jadar. Like Jadar has a lot of specific removal because you have a disposable token, but then the most played spells are like Feed the Swarm and Withering Torment still. I guess they can deal with enchantments, but it's way cooler to play like Tragic Slip or like the ones where you have to sacrifice a creature. Flare of Malice doesn't work with the token. It's still in the deck, but it's a good card, I guess. But yeah, people play just generic staples over the cool cards. And I guess it gets more and more the more colors you add, so yeah, it gets sloppier.
I'm definitely a believer in like build the deck you want to play, and if that deck has like a lot of cards that are generic in it, then go ham. And generic cards can actually help prop up like worse cards, right? Because your deck can operate at a stronger level even though your favorite cards in the deck are kind of weaker, even though there's like a risk of overshadowing if you don't really do it all that well. But I feel like a deck isn't really interesting based on how many colors it has. It's based on how much thought you put into it. It like you can have a 5-color very interesting deck, but if you just like make it a staple pile, that's going to be boring, and it's easier to do that with more colors than not.
So let's say you Elk built 2 decks. You built a mono green one and you built a 5-color one, and you've put the same amount of thought into each one, which is a more interesting deck.
I think it would be like you need to take the decks based on their merit, right? I think they would both be pretty interesting. It's just like you can make a 5-color deck as interesting as a monocolor deck if you really put a lot of thought into it. That's just my belief. I think it is easier to make a 5-color deck that is uninteresting just because you have access to everything. So you can kind of like, it's easier to streamline stuff if you're not thinking about every slot. I don't know. I'm just a huge synergy deck builder. So I have like a very funny lens on this where like, I feel like you're able to put a lot of thought into every single slot of a deck, and it doesn't matter what colors your commander are. I don't know. It is possible that the green one has a higher ceiling, maybe. I would need to think about that more.
Honestly, I don't believe it does. I think a deck with more colors is going to have a higher ceiling on how interesting it can be. And I think a lot of times monocolor decks feature the same things that every other monocolor deck has. I think this is likely true of some of your decks, Con. I remember we talked in the past about how Cyclonic Rift is an auto-include in blue decks for you. Maybe not anymore, but that's just like you have this formulaic thing the same way a commander player who adds white to their deck adds a generous gift, where it's just, oh, I'm in the color, I add this. Same thought process, monocolor deck, multicolor deck. So maybe a person who plays more colors but chooses to run outside the box cards has a shot at making a more interesting deck than a monocolor deck. Yeah,
I like that argument a little. You Trinket?
I think I disagree. So I agree with you about like staples and stuff or whatever. Like Cyclonic Rift is not a very interesting Magic the Gathering card, and you could include it in mono blue. You can include it in 5-color. But let's say when you're trying to construct a deck that reaches a specific goal, if you're in 5 colors, you will almost always have a card that does the thing that you're trying to do. Whereas in monocolor, a lot of times you have to find a roundabout method of doing so. Play a weird colorless card, play like some old color break card, and stuff that like genuinely doesn't really show up very often. I feel like, is that not more interesting?
It's cooler.
I mean, I feel like most of the color break stuff is like destroying an artifact or something, or like, and I don't know. I don't think removal is the most interesting thing in Commander. And I feel like that's usually what we think about when we think about color limitations, particularly for some colors. Maybe like drawing cards in white's a little tricky.
It's not monocolor, but so I have this like I've been tinkering with Boros control for like a long time now, and in my Flage deck I'm running was it Mind's Eye as my like card draw engine or Memory Jar as my card draw engine, and I have things like Memory Jar plus what is it called? What is the white capstone project?
Oh, not improv. Improv is red.
That's right. Yeah, the reanimator.
Restoration Seminar.
Yeah.
Restoration Seminar. Yeah, Restoration Seminar plus Memory Jar as like my sort of like
Oh my god,
card draw engine. It's all yeah, exactly. I'm going deep. I feel like that's kind of neat, and I feel like I wouldn't have come up with that if I wasn't trying to build a card draw engine in a color combination that doesn't often have card draw engines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's like, it feels a little, I don't know if I would say easier. It's for sure more fun to me to build with less colors because it's not, first of all, you have to cut so many cards. That kind of sucks. Even if you don't just play staples, it's like nowadays every commander has way more cards that synergize with them than you can put in a deck. And then you have to cut cool cards. So in monocolor, you can usually play all the cool cards and then come up with neat tech. And I like having to build around a problem. For example, like protection is like super easy once you have white, but in black or something, it's pretty hard to protect your board. And honestly, for black, I didn't find an answer yet. For green, there's this mass reanimate spell, and obviously the one good one, like heroic intervention. But yeah, you get cooler deck building challenges if you restrict yourself to one color for sure.
But like, okay, so yes, you get more interesting you have to get a little bit more cute with the things that you pick when you have restrictions, but there's nothing stopping a 5-color player from imposing restrictions on themselves during
I
deck
mean,
building.
yes, that's kind of the thing with the rules breakers, right? It's like you could just build this deck with any 5-color commander and just don't put all the slop in, but people can't help it, I guess. And then they need to be told, don't play nature's law in here.
I feel like we're looking at like commander players as like a broad thing and not as like specific cases, right? Like I wouldn't trust like Tim from the game store like to build like an interesting 5-color deck, but I think you could trust someone in the top percentile of interesting deck builders to use 5 colors in an interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
To talk about 5 colors and restrictions really quickly, by the way, there was a deck I vividly remember. It was a Child of Alara deck. It was 5 colors, and this guy was just playing lands all game, and then he played a Death Pit Offering. I don't know if you guys know what this enchantment does.
Oh, I know what this does. Yes.
It's when this enchantment enters, sacrifice all creatures you control, and then creatures get +2/+2. And it's 4 mana. So it's like a big anthem, but you have to sack your whole board. And the joke is that he was doing 5-color man lands. So he just added all these cards that like did insane shit because he just didn't have any creatures. The only threats he had were man lands and anthems for them.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
I've wanted to build a deck like that. It's so funny.
And so, despite most 5-color decks out there in the population size being soup or like devolving into soup, there is still very interesting and creative things you can do with 5-color Magic, even if the average on par deck might be less interesting than a monocolor one, right?
I also think about how when I built a cycling deck, I specifically didn't add Monument to Endurance, or I didn't add it when it was released after I built the deck. That's a colorless card. There's no color identity in which I am restricted from playing that very powerful generic draw engine in my cycling deck. I chose not to play with it in my deck as an act of human free will.
Isn't it just super fun, though? Maybe I'm the slop guy here, but that's such a fun card in cycling. And it's already niche. It's not like it goes in every deck, but in cycling, you can finally play with it. And it's
for my particular deck, it was an Astral Slide deck, and I really like gaining value by flickering my creatures. So it's just it completely negates what I find fun about the deck.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Alex would want to perplex for the Monument to Endurance first if it was in the deck list, because it's like a better, more consistent card draw engine sometimes.
It just makes all my cycling cards draw more cards, and that's boring.
Yeah, I know. It's like if you have a cool win condition and then your plan B is, I don't know, Thoracle. And then it's like, okay, plan B is
well, that's not a plan
better.
B anymore,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. If there's a deck where like the card draw is not the thing I find interesting, then I'm going to be more fine running generically powerful card draw options. But if gaining the upper hand in card advantage is part of the challenge, then I'll be more careful.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've like kind of gotten away from it. We're like, I agree with you that like, yeah, Jimbo from the game store or whatever probably isn't going to make the coolest 5-color deck. And I believe that you 3 can make a cool 5-color deck. That's fine. But like, do you think that your coolest 5-color deck is as cool as your coolest monocolor deck?
Depends. So on Commander Clash, if we play random themes like a Smash Bros. Themed deck or something, then you kind of need to be 5-color, just so you can play all the sweetest cards. But that's like bracket 1 and just theme based. So for this, it kind of makes sense. It's not sweet on a gameplay level, but it's sweet on a look what funny cards I found here. For my personal decks, I gotta say my Omnath deck 4-color, it is kind of built around bounce lands, but then it's also built around flickering Italy and stuff, so it kind of got a little sloppy.
Your Omnath list?
Yeah. It's 4-color, and I have to admit, it is kind of just land for good stuff. But I don't try to build interesting decks for my paper decks. I just try to get as much value as possible, honestly. I play enough jank on Clash.
I mean, you just want to draw the most cards,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that's fine, honestly. Like, if you have a deck that you love and it's really fun, like, I never want to shit on someone, like, especially, like, in a game where I'm like, oh, dude, you're playing fucking this commander? That's boring. Like, no way. No, we're all here to have fun, and at the end of the day, you have a deck that makes you have fun, then you're winning in Commander. You don't have to have an interesting deck, according to a bunch of hipsters on a podcast, right? It's like, it's so fun if you just have, like, a deck you like.
I mean, my deck with my least interesting draw is a mono green deck. In that case, it feels okay because, you know, all the other things about the deck I find interesting, but every single draw spell in that deck is like, you know, Garrick's Uprising.
Oh, yeah.
Rishkar's Expertise. Greater Good, all of that jazz.
Yeah, I actually have a deck that I'm pretty envious of that I built for a friend because he was really into slivers. He was getting into the game and he just thought they looked really goofy and funny. And so I was like, okay, great. I'll build you a budget slivers deck with Sliver Hive Lord. Sliver Hive Lord used to be like a $5 card. Now it's 15, but it used to be 5. And I was thinking about what like levels we could put on the sliver deck to make it interesting because slivers is just fun. It scratches a certain itch for some players, right? Like, ooh, it's like all these creatures get all the abilities of all the other creatures. That's a cool mechanic. I'm sure there's people having like PTSD flashbacks in the audience or typing in a me comment. I love slivers.
Those are players who don't play board wipes.
Yeah, I love slivers to death. What an interesting design. Just very cool. But they printed Spiteful Sliver, which is Wrathful Red Dragon, but for slivers, right? Whenever a sliver takes damage, it deals that much damage to any target. And so with the indestructibility from the commander and that sliver, I was like, we could do stop hitting yourself slivers with like Blasphemous Act and Chain Reaction and Starve Extinction as the board wipes. And then you have the Sliver Cycler to get the Spiteful Sliver if you need to go grab that. And I looked it up on EDH Rec right now. There are still only 8 sliver decks that are Sliver Hive Lord running Requiem Monolith as well, which can be used on an opponent's creature or your own creature with Blasphemous Act to draw 13 cards and make them lose 13 life.
Oh, that is funny.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so on the surface, this looks like a boring 5-color slivers deck. You're probably like, whatever. But like, I feel like a lot of people might have just put Rhystic Study in that slot and not really thought about what interesting synergy they could do with all of the indestructible slivers on board. But like, if you just put a little thought into any 5-color deck, you can immediately make it a lot more interesting, even though you have every access to every broken card in Commander. And because of just like card choices, like actively doing the casual thing of like seeding power cards for more funny in the context of the deck cards, you know?
I mean, yeah, I still don't think that answers our question.
I think that deck is as interesting as like mono white Safara, and in fact, it's probably a little more interesting than mono white Flyers, right?
How about this? Let's talk about the rule breaker commanders for like a second. Do you think that, you know, well, we'll say Saluma Light of Aeson is more interesting than if it just had a rule breaker ability?
From a deck building, or from a, like, if you is saying you build the same deck with it, or
that's a good question.
I think the question is fine as is. Like, is it, or are we happier that we got this rather than an angel with a 5-color ability?
Yes.
And I think Phill was saying that you were hoping that there would be a more interesting design than this for 5-color angels commander.
Yeah, for 5-color angel, for rule break 5 colors, like make it worth to break the rule, like have it interact somewhat with non-white angels. That would be more interesting than just saying, well, you wanted 5-color angels, here you go, and it also reanimates, which is not unique for angels. There's not much unique about it besides the color.
It kind of makes sense to me because all of the colors other than white have an easier time getting stuff into the graveyard than white does.
I guess, yeah.
Now, is that enough to kind of give this a sense of identity? I don't know. I also think it's interesting for angels in particular because this is very much competing with the 2-mana Angel, just because in a deck with Giada, because in a deck that can't run green ramp, ramp is going to be kind of the trickiest thing. And if you're running Saluma, you don't have the easy ramp like Giada does. But I think that is interesting in some ways. It forces you to go back to the artifact ramp rather than the green stuff.
Yeah, I kind of brewed a little with Saluma on stream because once again I'm just like little angel boy. I love angels to death. And I think the most interesting thing was figuring out ways to discard angels and use Saluma's ability as pseudo ramp and color fixing for the angels that like are hard to cast. Like I'm never casting Maelstrom Angel. That is a reanimation target.
I feel like on one hand, it would have been neat if they said like if it had some ability that was like I don't know. I don't want to say gain life because it's a white card, but if you gained life, for every color among angels you have, or something like that for every color among angels. I feel like that would push more people into 5 color. I kind of think the interesting thing part about it not caring about your like colors of angels is that you can just do 3 color angels or whatever. Like you don't have to do 5 to get the max value out of this in terms of its like rules text.
Yeah, that's a benefit to me.
Yeah. No, I do think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I actually did something really fun to kind of like make this part of the 99. Because I don't think the commander needs to do everything to make a deck interesting or worth playing or be a good design. I've Case of the Shattered Pact in the 99, and no one's going to know what this card does because no one played MKM Limited. But
Case of the Shattered Pact.
This card, if you have 5 colors among permanents you control, you solve the case, and then the case gives double strike and vigilance. Everything already has flying because it's angels, but the joke is that like double strike enablers are really good with Saluma's combat damage trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is mana fixing. You can get any mana you want for 1 or for 2. This basic land cycles, which is good with the rule breaker. And then it also, if you get 5 colors of angels in play, which is a pipe dream. This card's not good, but it's really funny. You get to have a double strike like duelist heritage.
Yeah, maybe
That card is pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. All of these cards are very fun. Like they could have made them cheaper or more efficient or anything. None of them are pushed on a power level, and I don't think we were rating them on that scale. Any of this is like,
oh yeah,
obviously a multicolor deck is better because it can do everything a monocolor deck can do. But yeah, it's kind of cool if you can make use of these kinds of cards. Case of the Shattered Pact is. Why is there curious farm animals in this deck? I got that there.
Oh, I'm a little tutor boy. I have Starfield Shepherd, so it's just a way to get like artifact and enchant removal off my 1-drop tutors. Because I also want to get Liliana the Faultless as a discard outlet, or you can get Weathered Wayfarer, which can then get up Gaia Reach Sanitarium or Hall of the Bandit Lord. Toolboxes.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in your decks.
Curious
They're very funny.
Farm animals.
Curious Farm Animals is all house. It's all star. Just like, the Curious Farm Animals is so good as like just 1-drop artifact enchantment removal. I love it to death.
I mean, it's not that bad. The art is kind of funny.
Yeah. It's an elk too.
Avatar. It sure is. I don't know. I think I do like. I really like Rule Breaker because I feel like most, like the average commander player just cannot help themselves. And I think this like forces them to build like a more interesting deck. Not that playing staples makes your deck inherently uninteresting. I feel like I want to clarify that. I don't think you're like a morally wrong person or a bad deck builder if you put like Smothering Tithe in a deck. But I do think that like a lot of players will play these cards without thinking too hard about them. And not that you have to think too hard about it, especially if it's like removal. Like Swords to Plowshares is probably fine for your deck. But a lot of people will play these for power level reasons, which I think is silly in casual commander if you were just playing casual commander, you know?
I play Springheart and Nantuko in pretty much every green deck, but it's for fun reasons. I don't know if that counts.
I like a good Springheart Nantuko. That's basically green flicker.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played it.
Wow. I got so many of them. It's like whenever I build any green deck, it's like, okay, rampant growth or whatever, then get the Nantuko.
Yes.
Here's a theory. What if every player has like a bunch of pet cards in each color, and then the more colors they get to play, the more pet cards they get to play, which means the more fun they're having.
Oh, dude, you haven't seen some. I haven't built a 5-color Garbo deck in a long time, but if I could find an old list for it, holy, I got some pet cards. I built which one is it? Niv Mizzet Supreme. Oh man, that deck was so bad. I had so many garbage pet cards there. It was awesome.
I'm so boring. I don't have trashy pet cards.
For me, what I really like about Rule Breaker is that it opens up the door to designs that can be run in more decks, even in the 99. Like I remember vividly when they printed Kyodai Soul of Kamigawa, and I couldn't put it in my mono white deck, and I was fucking fuming because it's literally the perfect card, but it just has Wooburg stapled onto it. I just can't run it. It's like so infuriating.
That's why I need to abolish color identity.
Ah, you know what? I might be backing your horse a little bit.
No. I'm already sick and tired of seeing Ristic Study as is.
Okay, trade offer: abolish color identity and then also ban Ristic Study. This is a win-win for me, by the way.
We also have to ban Smothering Tithe.
I'm a Ristic Study accelerationist. Abolish color identity, so we have to ban Ristic Study.
Okay, now he's cooking.
So I recently built Beyond the Fierce, the new bear commander, and I also have a Jadar deck, which is mono black, and both of these decks really make use of being monocolor. So before this, I said, every dual color deck could also do everything any monocolor deck can do, which it could also still do. But there are things that are like Nykthos gets crazy if you're monocolor. What's the Throne of Eldraine is pretty strong as ramp.
Throne of Eldraine's a really good card.
And then if you're mono green, there's this card called Gaia's Touch. It only works with basic forests. Yeah, so it's a 2 mana, 2 double green. You can play an additional basic forest each turn, and then you can sacrifice it for double green. So if you play this, play an extra forest, next turn, play an extra forest, sack this for double green. Crazy ramp that only works in mono green unless you're playing unless you build around it. Like, say, I'm mono green Golgari or something, but play a lot of forests and a lot of green cards. So there are actual advantages of being mono green or monocolor. Same with the medallions, get super strong if they affect every spell. It's also just so fun to not have too many cards to add. I don't know. It feels like nowadays there's so many cards. I don't know what you cut. I'm so happy that Lowness, for example, is only 2 colors, because if I had any other color, my brain would break. There's so many more combos, no matter what color you add.
This is why I love cards like Phyrexian Obliterator or like Temporal Extortion. Cards that are like quadruple pips, because they're harder to play in multicolor decks. And I think that's a fun reason to play monocolor, and it does kind of like open up those cards that you really don't see elsewhere. And not even just like for power level reasons. Like Temporal Extortion is not like that strong, but it is a fun card, you know?
Yeah, I play Unnatural Growth, the one that doubles your power and toughness every upkeep. It's quadruple green and a colorless. Triple green isn't enough. Like, I play Archery Charm in so many, even in my 4-color decks, no problem casting it. Quadruple gets a little crazy though, especially if you want to play it on curve. I guess if you want to play Archery Charm on curve, green is the only color that can do it, probably.
Yeah.
See,
I love those charms as well.
I'm a 2-color deck lover.
Wait, we didn't get we need 2 more charms, right? Kind of
Yes.
off topic here, but
We're missing white and red.
White and red, yeah.
I'm excited to see that cycle.
I want to see more double symbol cards.
Yeah, double symbol is also pretty sweet. The Gearwolves are all like that, right? Or the 2-color ones from
the new Gearwolves are fucking awesome.
Oh, the new, I still love the Azurius one. And it's kind of wild that they didn't pop
Oh,
off more.
that one's so brutal.
Oh, that one's
Yeah.
rough. I run that in my stream deck. It's almost too strong. There.
It's so good with the Astral Slide thing. He's just blinking Reptile Gearhulk every
yuck.
turn.
Okay, that's a little nasty though.
Travis is at home screaming at his monitor right now.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
Travis got to experience the joy of that.
But like Bright Glass Gearhulk, oh, so cool.
Bright Glass is so
Mhm.
fucking awesome. Another reason you want to run Curious Farm Animals, by the way.
Let's go. Who cares about Esper? Just
I literally, I have such a bad problem, man. I look at Bright Glass Gearhulk and I'm like, yo, my first grab, Voyager staff. We're gonna flicker this thing.
Oh, I will say I'm pissed that Coalstoke Gearhulk puts a finality counter on the thing. Like, what the hell?
yeah,
I
this one is.
know.
A
They made the
little-
other one so strong.
They
Why
didn't
did
need to
make
do
this one bad?
that. let me fiddle with graveyard bullshit. Come on, it's not even that powerful.
I am happy that it is from a graveyard, so you can like steal your opponent's things. That's kind of
That's
cool.
true, but
I had a deck review for a chatter, and it was like Brea, all the Gearhulks, and I think we didn't put Coalstoke in.
Ooh.
I think Coalstoke just sucked that bad. We had every other Gearhulk, but not Coalstoke.
It needed to be like a 4-mana one or not have the finality counter. Like it needed one less thing. you know?
yeah. If it was 4-mana, it would be like a very strong tempo play. If it didn't have the finality, you could do cool value stuff with it, but it's just mediocre.
It returns with the finality counter, and then also it exiles it at the beginning of the next end step. It's like doubled
Yeah,
up
it's
on like
double boring.
exiling
Yeah,
it. They
I
did.
don't-
Yeah.
They did not want you to recur the same thing twice. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You have to remove the counter somehow and then end the turn.
Yeah.
Or like
it's-
sack it. You could sack it after you remove the counter.
yeah, or sack the counter and remove.
Yeah, you need to like nesting grounds, and then we're in Rakdos, dog. Are we gonna like expedition map for that thing? Like, how are we doing this consistently?
Yeah.
If you return to hand, it also gets around it, right? Not that that's a great thing to do, but
I can't wait for the next 5 Gearhulks.
Yeah.
I
same.
know. I wonder if we get them in Kamigawa. I'm locking it in. That's my
Oh,
prediction.
That would be
good
cool.
call. You think they're gonna be 3 colors somehow and be 2 pips, 2 pips, 2 pips, 6 drops, and just
Oh, dude, I like
turn up
fucking
and-
ultimatum
cool.
Gearhulks.
Big-
Give me ultimatum Gearhulks, please.
oh,
Okay, for the Kamigawa versus Ikoria set, I need them.
It's
like,
Ikoria.
Need,
Yeah.
need.
Ikori is 3 color block.
I need it to be
So-
big.
Yeah,
Like
so
they have to be big.
6
Like I need
drops,
like 10
please,
10s.
ETB,
you know?
no cast restrictions. Please don't say when cast. That's always so boring. Except for Italy shouldn't be that, but whatever. Just 6, like it would make sense, right? Ikoria is 3 color. It's big creatures.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Kamigawa is
mhm.
artifact things, right? More enchantment things, but whatever. Max. And oh man. Damn. That would be so cool.
I'm so excited for that set.
Yeah. Underwater set as well, though. Anyways, 5 color versus
Oh my god, the
multicolor.
art. Yeah. We're getting distracted. But the art for the Leviathans is really cool.
Oh yeah. Ah man, everything about the next year that looks so cool. We got to get through Star Trek first, though. I don't know. Are you guys? Is that a pro Star Trek podcast or not? I haven't heard.
I am very
I've consumed no Star Trek.
yeah. I'm very agnostic. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Okay. So
I hate this card so much.
This. Oh my god. Yeah. So with this whole set, when we got the original Lord of the Rings set, I was kind of sad that we didn't get a bonus sheet with the movie actors. But now that I've seen this and like in Marvel, it was the same. I didn't know how much I didn't want this. My God, it's so weird to see.
I'm not
extra
even
faces.
talking about that because I don't recognize the movie actor. I don't know who the
Oh
fuck
yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
No.
So-
Just the
by the way, the
name
card I'm
being-
talking about is Khan.
How many times have you gotten DM'd and added about that?
Oh, for
Dude,
you, it's
ah,
extra. Yeah.
This
okay,
has been
I see.
following me my entire fucking life.
Oh shit.
Oh, I see.
Still-
Oh,
Still somehow I feel like people have tagged me more with bothersome noisemaker when that got spoiled in Hobbit.
well, because a lot of people don't know my name is Khan, so
Well, they always spell it like that too, so that must
They
be
always
extra
spell it
salt in the
wrong
wound.
too. Yeah, they spell it like that.
Wait, how is the spelling? Is it like magic?
No, mine's spelled Kaaan.
Ah,
Because I'm
okay.
Turkish.
Yeah, okay.
I had not seen Bothersome Noisemaker before, and I'm so excited that there's another card with a brass instrument.
Bothersome noise.
I love Sizzling Soloist.
A Bothersome Noisemaker is actually a good card, so I don't mind people calling me one because like the card's cool, so it makes me
Oh
smile.
yeah, the new one.
Oh, yeah. This card's actually not bad.
Oh yeah, whenever you cast a
Yeah.
non-creature spell, a Masked Goblin's 1 on a 1-drop, I guess it only adds a counter, but that's
It's a
gotta
2-drop.
be yeah, it's a 2-drop. Oh yeah, it's a 2-drop. Yeah, on
Yeah.
that's actually good, right?
I'm
Yeah.
kind of shook it's not
Once per turn.
instant or sorcery. Like you can use
Oh,
this in
yeah.
artifact decks,
Yeah,
and
but
then you can just sack
again,
the fodder and like trigger your things.
Yeah, I think this card's kind of heat. So
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So now that we've definitively answered whether or not 5-color decks or 1-color
Yeah.
decks are more interesting, would you guys like to move on to some questions from the audience?
Mhm.
yeah, I'm down to
Yeah, let's do
do
it.
like a few.
All right. Moving on to the Beseech the Mirror section. This is where you beseech us for answers. If you want to beseech us, all you got to do is put mirror, mirror in your comment, and we'll get to it maybe on the podcast. Mirror, mirror, I use Oko to target 3/3 elk and no changes occur to ask, are you guys excited for CubeCon this year? Are you all going? Any cubes interested in the event? Oh, entered in the event.
I mean, I'm not going. I like the format though.
Where is CubeCon?
I am always thinking about going to a CubeCon. It's in 15 days. Where
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin. Ah, but so many cool people are there, like Reed Duke and Melissa DeTora and Sam Black, and that's it. But no, I like a good CubeCon. I should go some year. I'll probably bring my 2-headed giant cube. I have a lot of cubes I could like feature.
I would go to one if there was one in Washington or Oregon, but I am too lazy to go further than that.
Yeah, Wisconsin is a bit far.
Plus, I'm about to go to like MagicCon Tokyo and Detroit, so I need to like prepare for an
Tokyo,
international
nice.
trip, and I also need to prepare to be mugged in Detroit. So like, there's a lot of money loss happening here in the next year.
Oh
so.
god. Oh no.
Guys, we need to cancel Elk now.
Wait, so in a CubeCon you just go there and then just cube draft? Isn't like you can do like maybe 2 drafts a day if you really spend the whole day cube drafting, or do you just play one game and say nice deck?
I guess maybe it's like the novelty of like someone has like a power cube and you get to like actually play in a power cube in paper, which is
Huh.
probably difficult to do otherwise.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the joke is that you get you register for the cubes that you want to play, and then you get a response back and you go, yo, this one's sold out, this one's not. So you can have this itinerary for the day. I think you do 3 cubes a day. You get to play like 9, 12 cubes if you do 4. And then, yeah, you just cube all day.
It'd be insane to build a power cube in paper. Like if you're playing an expensive card in a commander deck, that's one thing. But if you're like giving it to other people to like, shuffle with their greasy hands and,
That's crazy.
pocket
Yeah.
if they're that sort of person.
You have like a hand wash station right in front of the cube.
Yeah, but Alex, we're like in our 20s. Like, imagine when we're 60 and we have billions of dollars raked in
that's
for
how that goes.
Magic the Gathering entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you might want to buy a power cube.
Maybe even 2. I just see a comment here on the Spotify. It said YouTube finally broke me with all these ads, so I made the swap to the actual podcast. Lo and behold, the video is here. Yeah, so if you want to watch the video, you can watch it on Spotify. Like I upload the video to Spotify as well. It's not just the audio. I guess some people are unaware of that, so I'm just making that clear.
Anyway, we can get on to a real kind of question that isn't about cubes.
Alwyn Music asks, Mirror, mirror, I tap Fibblethip for 1 blue mana with Paradise Mantle to ask any advice for building a commander cube. This is another cube question.
Mhm.
Commander
Ah,
cube. Wait, let's skip this.
it's taking over, everyone.
It's because you're on the podcast and you keep yapping about cube.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
It is one of the best forms of magic, honestly. Like, So good.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Mirror, mirror, what if I built my Wits deck out of those small half-size cards?
And it would be harder to shuffle, I would think.
Yeah.
Dude, how tall and thin would that pile be? I'm trying to visualize it right now. It would fall over all the time. There's no way.
Oh, we're building Wits decks for Commander Clash. It's so much. So I built Battle of Wits in 60 cards, but well, whatever, with play sets. And it's like, yeah, you can play all the tutors, all the pieces, whatever, and then you kind of just scale up the deck building process. In Singleton, though, oh my god! So I built, so we're all gonna play. Spoiler alert! Of course we do this. We all play the Wits Commander. So we all play all the tutors, all the ways to shuffle back our libraries, and protect the Wits. I don't play extra turns. I hope nobody else does. Also, don't quote me on that if I need to. We'll see. But then I ended up with a 100-card deck, and then I'm like, 150 cards left. Let's put a full Blink deck in here because I'm playing Yorion as a companion. And then I still had 50 cards left. So it's crazy how many cards this deck needs.
You know what's a really good bit for that, Commander Clash, is you all show up with like a wheelbarrow full of cards, and you just shuffle your initial, you shuffle to start. And that's 50 minutes, and then that's the whole episode. Just have like 2,000 card decks, and you just shuffle for an hour.
I mean, technically, there's no upper limit for Wits, so we'll see how hard people are gonna go at the next MagicCon.
What if you do like no library reordering and you just keep all of your cards in a massive sack and just pull them out one at a time when you're drawing?
Oh! Like a big Santa Claus sack.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea.
There was a post on Twitter a long time ago that was like, I want like a jacket with like 100 like pockets in it, and I'm gonna put a magic card in each of them, and that's gonna be my commander deck.
That's good.
And I was like, that sounds like a nightmare to shuffle. Like you could ski to response to like a force shuffle effect.
Mirror, mirror, I behold 4 legendary Beebuls to ask. With a lot of players disliking the Eminence mechanic, what do you think of Sahir from Mystery Boosters? Is this a more tolerable Eminence commander, or does it loop around to being annoyingly bad? Yeah, so Sahir, Visitor of Darkness, is a legendary creature, human wizard, 3/3. It has Eminence at the beginning of your upkeep. He deals 1 damage to you. This triggers if he's in the command zone or on the battlefield. And then he has an ability that says when a source you control deals exactly 1 damage to you, and whenever a spell or ability causes you to lose exactly 1 life, put a counter on him. If this is the second time the ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. So what do we think about this one? I feel like we talked about rule breakers, but I haven't talked about this guy.
Oh man, the other cards that are not rule breakers are such sweet designs. My god.
Yeah.
I think this guy's just kind of lame. This feels like the first draft of like you would do like downside is like Eminence's downside.
Mm-hmm.
But what does he do when you ping yourself? You draw a card. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. It is. Guess that's still though a cooler use of Eminence than all the others.
That's very true.
It's not a bold design, but I kind of like it.
Very high bar. Yeah, no, this feels like a proof of concept and not really like a finished like complete thing that I'm like excited about.
I mean, I feel like the rules breakers besides Wits are all just stuck in production. Like none of
the lands one is cool.
The lands one is cool, yeah. But the other ones, the ones that don't work with their own rule breaking, should need some more go arounds through like design. It's like they're just half designed. And this one is like, yeah, maybe they could have gone more creative, but at least it's not busted, even though it has Eminence.
It's fun with the walls of blood of the world and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like halfway there because like I feel like a really great commander design is one that asks you to play something specific or out of the box or weird that doesn't normally show up in commander decks, and also rewards you in a unique way for doing so. I think those are the best designed commanders in terms of like build around me, design. And this does half of that, where it asks for some like weird specific cards that you don't normally play in mono black or in most commander decks. The reward isn't crazy, but it's still like, it's almost there. I think it's a pretty cool card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be clear, I don't need it to be like a broken reward. I wish it was cooler than draw a card. But I like that he puts counters on himself. That's cool. You can fling him. There you go.
Mirror, mirror, I cast Decree of Annihilation and then cast The Cheese Stands Alone to beseech thee. What are your opinions on putting a combo in a deck that doesn't need it, but just has extra space? E.g., having a blue-black deck that has nothing to do with milling or devotion to blue, but you have 2 extra spots, so you play Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation.
Oh man, this is a rough example. So I like all of my decks having a form of closing the game that is not just plan A. And also, for a lot of my decks, it's like, oh, if I draw my entire deck, can I please end it right here? Which for this, I like a combo, although I try to have it work with the game plan, which today seems kind of possible with anything. So maybe Thoracle is just a little uninspired, and think about, what is your commander doing? There's gotta be something related to this. Maybe you're Merfolk and there's a Merfolk mill everybody thing or something. Like there's gotta be something more interesting than a Thoracle. Otherwise, I like it. Yeah.
If you're building a Merfolk deck, the Oracle is a Merfolk.
Well, maybe. Good point. Bad example on my part then. Well, maybe if you're Merfolk,
No, I'm
that's
joking.
fine.
I'm joking. I feel very strongly about this, like I do everything, I guess. But no, for me, it's like, of course, at the end of the day, build a deck that you find fun. If what you're putting in is part of that fun, then great. Just like really make sure that you're not overshadowing your plan A with something you want to be a plan B. If the plan B that you want to be a plan B is stronger than your plan A, it's gonna take over your deck like a fucking symbiote. You're never gonna do the cool, interesting stuff you built the deck to do. Those cards are gonna rot in your hand, and you're gonna go tutor for this stronger thing or like whatever, right? There's like, make sure that you're putting cards in your deck that you actually enjoy playing. And if that means you spend an extra hour on Scryfall just to put like 3 extra cards in your deck because you have a little bit of space, then so be it, right? Like at the end of the day, you should probably be building a deck that you're gonna have fun playing, and not one that you don't like playing.
Well, and also decks don't just have extra space usually.
That's what
yeah.
I was gonna
other
say.
thing.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you
It's
mean
like,
extra space?
If anything, I need more fucking space.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God, it's hard to fit everything I love into a deck.
Yeah, like I think if your deck like feels like it has extra space, your idea for it is probably too simple. And also, like I know I've had the experience of having extra space in specifically my Rata deck just because of the way it's built. And in that deck, I just add like funky pet cards,
Mm-hmm.
and that feels good. You know, I have like a standing like garbage 7-drop slot and like a couple like mediocre 6-drop value engines that I run rather than like a singular good value engine.
Yeah, I feel like if you have extra space, that means you should like have like a sub theme or
Mhm.
something. Like my Tameo list is, I'm trying to find the like Empires cards, and in theory that's only 3 slots in the deck, but the Empires cards works with untapping artifacts, and then I can have a whole other thing associated with untapping artifacts that fills up the rest of the slots. But I feel like if you're like, oh, my theme is having exactly 5 dragons in the deck for whatever reason, then you should have like maybe some other sub theme around big creatures or flying creatures or something to like fill out the rest of it, rather than just like, here are my 5 dragons, I have nothing else on the list. Also, if you want to win with a combo, you can have one in the deck as just your win con. You can have your goofy theme where you loop something stupid for value or whatever, and then win with a combo. That's like totally fine.
I fiddle with my garbage nonsense permanents for like 20 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done having fun with this. That Oracle.
Yeah, exactly. When you draw enough cards, and then you're like, here's my thing.
I mean, it's
like, you can do that if you want.
Maybe. So for me, it's a lot of my decks don't really plan on. Oh, that sounds bad, but don't really. The main plan isn't winning. But at some point, I will draw my deck and have infinite mana, so I gotta have a way to finish it. So I mean, to me, it's like maybe not Thoracle, but something related to your commander or theme or something. Because once you are in this position, the position should not be, well, I drew the card, so now I can combo off. The position is like, well, I need a off bottom if the game goes too long. So it can be 4 cards and 12 mana or something. So a little more creative is nice. But I'm not above comboing. It's actually very good because starting the game is
Yeah.
kind of a draw 7. So yeah.
Also, a pro tip for anyone out there who's like, I need a win condition. I'll put Thoracle in there. Thoracle is not like for if you're a deck that makes infinite mana and draws your deck, Thoracle is not actually the best win condition because it's a dead card before that. Like Thoracle
Yeah.
Demonic
Yeah.
Consultation is really efficient if you're in those colors. But if you're just like, I draw my entire deck, I would play something other than Thoracle because it's a dead draw. So if you're like a type
Yeah.
of deck that's make infinite mana, draw your deck, you should play like a Walking Ballista because
and-
Walking Ballistic
Mhm.
has use
Yeah.
earlier in the game.
Even I literally had a deck that was take infinite turns, draw my whole deck, make infinite mana. It was Tekethal charge counters. You would do like an Astral Cornucopia with like 500 charge counters on it because you proliferated
Yeah.
the fuck out of it. And you'd have Magistrate Scepter, you draw your whole deck, you'd make infinite mana. And the way that deck won was Blue Sun Zenith. You Blue Sun Zenith an opponent, and then you take your
Hell
extra turn,
yeah.
you Blue Sun Zenith the next one, and then the next one. And you could Blue Sun Zenith to draw most of your deck in the early game too, to like set up.
Yeah, this is how my old Jace CDH list worked. Is I didn't play Thassa's Oracle even in CDH because like I wasn't in black. I didn't have Demonic Consultation. But
Yeah.
Blue Suns was in the deck because you need it mid storm turn. But if you have infinite mana, you just pick up your deck with Blue Sun Zenith, it shuffles back in, you play a cantrip, and then you just deck everyone else out.
Yeah, we have Mathemagics now too, which is less mana intensive than a Blue Sun Zenith to win the game like that, and it cantrips and stuff. And
Yeah, if you don't have literal infinite mana, but just a lot of mana.
Thassa's is very good for turbo. It's the best turbo card, but it's not like a powerful card outside of that turbo scenario because it's a dead draw. It's really gnarly to have dead
Mhm.
draws like that in your deck, and I feel like a lot of players do overlook that fact.
I mean, this just circles back to what we said at the start with like people playing generically powerful cards without understanding the context of those cards. So they're like, oh, Thassa's Oracle, that's part of the strongest combo in the game. So I gotta put it in my Azorius deck, not realizing that you're missing the thing that makes it powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was Astral Dragon and then Machine God's Effigy and the 3 mana rock that copies something. Mirror something.
Yeah.
I had this in Mishra. Now I don't know. I cut it from Mishra to put it in another deck at the Astro Dragon. But all of these cards were just very fine by themselves. Actually, very good by themselves, especially the mana rocks. Astro Dragon is 8 mana, but usually when I had Astro Dragon, I could just copy the mana rock and go to town. Doesn't work with Machine God's Effigy if it's already on the board, but that's a judge call.
We never introduced who you are, Phil. We just said you're returning.
Oh.
I think that's really funny.
Huh, true.
And heralded, he returns.
I guess, yeah, hi.